Hello, in this video we are going to cover an interesting interview task which is related to JavaScript, and it's from a real company, but I changed it a little and make it more harder, and you can see the task right now. Let's see what is this task. This task is to create a custom pie chart, and the initial description was this: create a custom pie chart with a slider, and I added these legends. So this is really different from the original task, and it is much more harder, but you can see that it is really so easy. And we said that in this task description, this is create a custom pie chart with a slider and a legends section using vanilla JavaScript. And changing the slider will update the legends value and the chart colors, and you must send the GitHub repo address for the company as the interview results and the interview codes. And everything must be raw, and you cannot use any CSS frameworks and libraries like Bootstrap, Material UI, and Design, and the others. And there are also some extra points that can help us to have a better result from this interview task, which is creating the same result with React will have extra points, and this is good. And also using hooks in React project will have extra points. And we will do this. Let's see what we will cover in this task. And before it, let's see the result of this task. This is the first part, and we create this beautiful pie chart. Let's refresh this, and you can see that I have this pie chart. And when we open the web page, it is here like 30%. And with changing this slider, you can see that the pie chart it will be updated, and also its legends here will be updated automatically. And this is the result of custom pie chart using vanilla JavaScript. On the other hand, we have another project for our extra benefits. Let's refresh, and this is exactly the same result, but it is custom pie chart using React.js. And you can see it is exactly like it, but it is implemented using React. And let's refresh. You can see by changing this slider, the same result is here. And this is a good interview task. And by reviewing these codes, we can have better experience. And in the next interviews, we'll be more prepared. And so let's see what we will cover in this task. And in this video, we will cover vanilla JavaScript, and we create some vanilla JavaScript project. We see CSS positions, and we work with CSS displays, and we also work with backgrounds in CSS. And also we will work with React, and we create a React project, and we use these React hooks like use effect, use state, and also use ref. And you can see the difference of use ref against the document.query selector in vanilla JavaScript. Also, we do some refactor into our codes, and also we will cover GitHub repositories and create a repository, push our codes to the repository, and then we can give the address of this repository to the company. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it some star to this repository if you liked it. And the final result image is also here, and this below you can see some resources like this, which is about conic gradient we will use, and also this is W3 schools about the CSS conic gradients. So let's start the video and implement our projects. Let's start by creating a new folder and open it inside of the VS Code. And here I create a new folder named Vanilla JS pie chart, because I want to use two projects, Vanilla JS and React. So inside of this Vanilla JS pie chart, I create a file index.html, and here I create a simple structure using emmet abbreviation, and let's say that this is vanilla JavaScript pie chart. Here we can simply use HTML tags, and first let's say I create an h1 hello, or instead of this I say pie chart using Vanilla JavaScript. Let's open this inside of the browser. You can simply copy the path and paste it on the browser, but I'm using Live Server, which is an extension for VS Code, so I see the results live. And this is it. Let's have some structure here so I can see the results live. Okay, that's good. Now let's create a folder named assets, and inside of the assets we create a style.css and also app.js or script.js. And here inside of this style.css I want to use some CSS reset, so I say star and star before and star after. I want to have some reset, so I say padding of 0 and margin of 0. The box sizing would be border box, and we cannot see the result because we need to import this file. So here before this title we import this link, and we say that inside of assets style.css. Okay, now we have the changes pie chart, and let's have a font family of Arial. That's much more better, and that's it. Format document. Now let's change our body. I say that I have width of 100, viewport width, and height of 100 viewport height, and also I have a background color of this color. And no, that's it. So this is our body. Inside of the body, because I want to manage everything correctly, I use a division with container class name, and I paste this h1 here. So let's format our document. Inside this container, I have an h1. After this, I want to have a chart. So I say that I have a division with class name of chart. And this is it. This is the chart. We cannot see anything because it's empty. Let's work on this. So inside of the container, I have this chart. I say that I have a container. I have a chart. Inside of the chart, I say that let's first of all show you that what we have. I say background color, for example, let's say red, and we have 200, or let's say 25. This is the width, and let's have a height of again 250 pixel. And you can see that this is my chart right now, but let's work on this and change it a little. We want to use an interesting thing, which is conic gradient. You know that we have linear gradient, but this conic gradient is something different, and it's really an interesting. You can see it. So let's use this, and I will copy this from here. And instead of this background color, let's delete this and use this format document. Okay, you can see that inside the chart for background, I'm using conic gradient, and it is something like this. Let's delete these parts. I just need two color. Refresh. Okay, now you can see that what is going on. Instead of these degrees, let's say that we have, for example, 19 degree. You can see that this is the degree, but I want to use percentage. So I say, for example, 25% for red, or let's say 45%. You can see that it's changing, and that's good. And let's have a border radius to see something interesting, and 50%. You can see that this is now exactly like a pie chart. And let's format. Okay, now instead of this red color, I use let's say this color, and also I will paste this for the orange, but I will change it and have a lighter color for this. Okay, that's good. And let's delete all of them, and now that's much more better. And you can see that by changing this, for example, to 30 pixel, it is changing, and that's good. Let's change the letter more. Okay, now it's better. Format document. Now you can see that we have this and this, and the next thing is we want to have something that changes the amount of this chart. So let's create a new input after this chart. I create an input, and for the type I'm using range. Now you can see that I have an input, and let's have a class name for it. For example, range selector. And here for this range selector, I say that your width, I want this to be, I want this to be like this, 250 pixel. That's better. Now let's work on our container. I want everything to be in the center here, so I will use the flex. I say display of flex, but the flex direction should be column. Justify content of center. Align item of center, and I use a gap to have, let's say, 20 pixel, and that's good. But you can see, let me show you that why everything is up. If I show you the border 1px solid red, you can see that this is the width, and let's have a width of 100 viewport height. Sorry, it is the height, 100 viewport height. Okay, now everything is in the center. Let's delete this border, and now it seems that our structure is ready, but let's add a new element, which is the, let me show you here, this is the chart. Let's format our document. Okay, now we need to have a legend for this chart. Inside of this chart division, I create a new division. And let's say that inside of this, I say the value equals to 30%. And for this division, which is inside this chart, I say this div is the legends. So I will grab the legends, and I say that your background color is RGBA 0, 0, 0, and 4. Okay, now let's say that your position, the position is more important than the others. Position is absolute, the top is 0, and the left is 0. Okay, you can see that it is up there and it sticks to the left of our window. But this is a problem because we want it to be relative to this chart. And if I press format document, you can see that this legend is absolute, but this legend should be related to this chart. So for this chart, we can simply use position of relative. No, it's relative to this position. No, we can change this. For example, let's say that the left is minus 50 pixel. That's good. I think 60 is better. Let's refresh. That's good. And also, let's have some padding of top and bottom would be 6 pixel, and left and right would be 16 pixels, and a border radius of, let's say, 16 pixel. That's much more better, but let's change the left and let's say it's 100. Now I think that's really good. And after this background, I say your color must be white or FFF. That is much more better. Let's change this to value. It is 13 pixel, that's good. Now let's work on the functionality of this input. You can see that I think the CSS part is okay. And here we use this. So let's work on the functionality. We need to change the value of this input, and we change it that two things must happen. The first thing is changing this section and also changing this value. How we can use them? We can select them by the JavaScript selectors and work on them. So the first thing is this input. You can see that this input have this class. So I will use this, and I use const the range selector equals to document. I use query selector, and I use this range selector class, so I now have this input selected. The next thing is I want to change this, so I need the selector for it. It is the chart, and let's copy this again, and I simply change this. So const chart equals to document.querySelector.chart. And the next is the legend. So I copy this line again quickly, and I say const legends equals to dot legends. Now I have all of them. And the event is working with them is this input change. So let's say that I have this range selector dot add event listener, and let's see if input is working or not. And we know that here we can have the event as our input, and let's say that const the updated value equals to event dot target dot value. Let's log this updated value and see what is this and if it's working or not. Okay, console refresh. You can see that it is not working. So let's use change. Okay, no, it's not working. And let's check if it is selected or not. Okay, I think the problem was not this. I think, yeah, this is the problem. We must import it before the end of the body. So we have a script with source of dot slash assets slash app.js. Let's refresh. Okay, now it's working, and it was the problem. So you can see that with this changing, we have the new value or the updated value, and we need to use this updated value simply. What is our new value of this? Let's copy this from here and paste it here to see it. So I say that const the updated background equals to this, and I want it to be a string, and inside of this I want to use JavaScript, so I use these template literals, and this backticks let me use something dynamically. So instead of this 30%, I use $sign curly braces, and I say that your new background here should be the updated value. Let's format document, and this is our updated background. So we need to use it, so we can say that this chart, let's have chart dot background. Sorry, first we need to use, I think, style, because this chart have style dot background should be updated background. Let's see if it's working or not. Yes, you can see that it is working correctly, and by changing the event here, it will be fired and it will calculate the updated value. let's delete this console.log or comment it, we don't need it anymore. And the updated background will be calculated using this, and it will be assigned to chart.style.background, and it's working. Let's work on this legend here and update it. So we created this legend reference using document.querySelector.legend, and this legend is simply a division with an value. So let's copy this, and I want to change this. After changing the background, we say that legends dot inner HTML, or let's say inner text, equals to this, and this should be backtick to use JavaScript. And instead of this 13, we can again use the updated value. Let's format and see if it's working or not. Okay, it is not working, and we need to see what is the problem. Yeah, I think this should be that inner HTML, because it is not a text element. It's a division, it has HTML. Let's refresh, and no, it's working and we don't have any error here. That's good. So let's check it again. We created this simple chart, and by changing this slider here, which is an input with type of range, we are changing two things. The first thing is this section inside of this chart, and also this legends here. You can see that it is completely dynamic and it's working correctly. It seems that our code is good. Now it is okay. PyChart using Vanilla JavaScript. The next thing is we are supposed to deliver the task with GitHub. So let's do this, and in the first place, let's create a new GitHub repository. I want to use this account here, so I create a new repository, and let's copy this name from here. Okay, I create a repository, and it must be public. No. Okay, create this repository. Now we need to add this origin into our repository. So I copied this line, and here let's open a new terminal. Now I say that git remote add origin and add this origin. Okay, it says that not a git repository, so we need to initialize it. I say git init. By the way, you should check that with git -- version, you should have the git software installed on your system. You see that it is installed, so I say git init. Now it's initialized. Let's do our first commit, git add dot and git commit -m with initialize commit. That's good. Now we added this, but it wasn't working, so let's add it again. That's good. The next thing is this branch is main, but our local branch is master, so we need to rename it to avoid any mistake and problems. And then we push using this command here, git push -u origin main. Wait for it. Okay, that's done. Let's refresh, and now you can see that the repository is created, and we can send the link of this repository to the company or the interviewer person, and that's good. Let's add a readme to this project, readme.md, and let's say that this is interview task. It is a custom pie chart, and let's add readme. You can see that I'm using this source control extension in VS Code, and okay, commit and sync. It will push to the server. Okay, it's finished, and let's refresh here. Now you can see that I have a readme here, and I think that's good. So now it is ready to deliver, but it is an extra bonus if we can implement this exactly this functionality inside of the React. So let's create a React project and see if we can implement this or not. And by the way, here I will open the terminal again. Let's say CLS. Okay. Now you can see that I'm in custom PyChart front interview directory. And here I need to create a new React project. So here I say npx create React app, and the name for my project I say React JS PyChart. And you can see that the project is installed and I have complete React project here inside of this React.js PyChart, and that's good. Now let's work on this. I will open a terminal and here I will change my directory to React.js PyChart, and here I say npm start. And that's it. So let's work on this project. Here I delete these files, I don't need them. Setup test, I don't need this file, and this and this and this and this. So I just need index.js and app.js for now. And let's do some cleanup. Let's report web vitals, and I don't need this, also this and this. And inside of app.js, let's rename this to app.jsx and delete all of them and create a new component. You can see that I'm using RAFCE because I installed a snippet which is, let me show you, ES7. You can see that using this ES7 React, you can use RAFCE and create your components faster. RAFCE. Okay, this is creating the app component, and for now it is working. And let's check if we have any error. No, we don't have any error. That's good. And now let's work on this project. For now, we created a vanilla JavaScript and we can use that code to be more fast. And so inside of the body, I have this file. So I will use this. I will copy all of this inside of vanilla and inside of app.jsx. I paste them, and in React, instead of class, we need to use class name. So we need to change all of these classes, and it should be class name. But let me show you a fast way. You can change something and have all of them selected by using Ctrl D. So I double click this class, it is selected, and I press Ctrl D, Ctrl D. You can see all of them are selected, and I press Ctrl V. All of my classes will change to class name. And let's format document and see the result. Refresh. You can see that it is here. That's good. Let's work on them. Okay, so I copy this, and also I will copy this style.css, copy, and inside of src I will paste it, and I need to import this style.css inside of my index. Before that, let's see the changes step by step. So that's it. And anything is commented no. Let's import this style.css here. I say import dot slash style.css. Now let's check the live changes here and close this. Okay, now I say that here inside this style, I say that I need this general classes. Okay, padding 0, margin 0, box sizing border box, and font family of Arial. For the body, we need view width and height of 100 viewports. It's okay, and the background color, that's good. And we have a container here. It's exactly like the vanilla, so I don't focus on them right now. And you know, all of them we done. We change anything, and all of them will be centered here. And after that, we have this chart division. Okay, we have this chart again. For the range selector, we use this width, it will be bigger. And for the legends, we use the same CSS style. And there is no difference between them inside of the vanilla JavaScript and React JavaScript. But this is the most important thing. We need to have that functionality again. And let's do this. The first thing is, it is a good idea to have some components. For example, this is an H1 and it is something that works for itself and we don't need to have any change on it. And after that, we have a chart, and inside of this chart we have these legends, and also we have this input, and this input in fact is related to this chart. So let's cut all of them and create a new component for them, and here we will import that component. So let's create a new component, and inside this src I say you need to create a new folder, components, and inside of this folder I create, let's say, a chart.jsx, but it is good and it is working. Let's say RAFCE to create a new component, but it is a good best practice to have this type of naming, chart.component.jsx, and it will help you a lot in the future maintaining, and you can simply work this. Let me show you. If for example, let's say you're in app.jsx and you want to work with that file, you can simply press Ctrl P in the VS Code and it will open this search box, and simply if you type chart, you can see that it is chart.component.jsx, and it simply reminds you that this is a component, and this is a good practice. So let's work on this, and inside this chart.component I will paste all of them, and it seems that we have a problem. Let me show you what is this, but before this let's import this chart here to see the results, and this chart will be automatically imported from components, chart component.jsx. Let's press format document. Now inside this container we have an h1 and we have a component, but here we have an error, and let's see what's the error. It says that adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. Did you want to JS fragment? It refers that a common problem in React is you just need to have one parent element or one parent tag, and now we have this division and also we have this input. So the solution is so easy. We can use this fragment, and this is also one of the most important React interview questions. You can see that it's okay. Now I press format document, and inside of chart you can see that I have inside this return I have just one parent tag, and inside of this we have a lot of elements, and also this is nothing, and it will not be rendered. Let me show you. Inside of these elements you can see that inside of the container we have this h1 and we have this chart, and nothing else is here rendered, and that's good. Now let's work on this again. Okay, now inside of this container we have this, and so we don't want to work with this app for now. Let's close this, and I don't index.js. Let's close, and now I'm here. Inside of the chart I want to have the changes, but inside of React we use states and we work with them. Let's create a new state, and instead of this React I will create this. I say I want to use a state and import use state from React, and I say that I want to have const something equals to use a state. And what is the result? The first thing is the state, which is, for example, let's say %, and the second is its function. I say set %, and let's see what is the first import. inside of this state, you can see that this is the value we need to change. So let's copy this and paste it here and comment this. So the initialize percentage is the initial percent is 30. So let's copy this and I say the initial percent is 30. And for this input, let's say that the value equals to this percent. Let me check something. Okay, I forgot something here. You can see that on the first time this has not any value, but this is an exact value. Let's correct this and then continue our React. Let's come here and let's see what is inside the style. You can see that the initial percentage is 13, so this should be the value of this. I say that your value is 30 for now. And this is the initial. No, that's correct. And let's commit this. So inside of this vanilla, just for this file, I'll say correct initial value. Let's commit and sync. Okay, now it is okay. Let's go back to our component here. And for now, the initial value is this. If I change, for example, to 80, it should change, and you can see that this value is changing. That's good. Let's have 30 again. So we need to change handler. So on change, we need to call a function. I say, for example, change handler, and let's create this function. As a matter of fact, let me show you what is this. In fact, here we need to add e, and let's say that you should set the percent with e.target.value. And it changed the value, but this is not a good idea, and it is better to have this functionality outside of this element. So simply let's say we have this change, or let's say that okay, change handler, and for this change handler, let's create it. We say const change handler. This is an arrow function that will give the event as its input, and we say that set the percent to the event dot target dot value. And now we are changing it for my document. Okay, if it's working or not. Yes, you can see that it is working. Let's see if we have any error. Refresh. No, we don't have any error. That's good. Now let's use this. Inside of this legend and this chart, I want to use this. First, let me show you what is this state. Instead of this 30, which is a hard-coded value, I delete this. And I say that you open a curly brace because this is the JS6 syntax, and inside of these elements, we can use this to use JavaScript. And I say that use this percent state. So I say the percent, and let's refresh. Okay, now with changing this state, this part will be rendered automatically, and it is working. And you can see that how cool it is. Let's see if we have any error. No, we don't have. That's good. The next part is this, and we need to change this. We know that this is an style, and we need to change the style of this division, like what we did here inside of Vanilla JavaScript. We change the background of its style. And here we use the document.query selector, but inside of the React, it's a little different. We need to use something called use ref. And with use ref, we can get something. Let's show you const chart equals to use ref, And let's say that here for this chart element, we can say that your ref, you can see that the ref is recognized as React, and we say that your ref is chart. But let's say it is the chart ref to be more clear and obvious. And you can see your ref is chart ref, and that's good. Now we have access to this everywhere. And here on change handler, we change the style. And let's say that we need to have a use effect because we want to have a change observer, and inside of this we can use the percent, and by changing percent we will fire this again. And let's console.log your ref dot. Let me show you this. Okay, refresh. It says that ref is not defined because this is chart ref in fact. Let's refresh. Okay, you can see that the ref or the use ref has a current inside of it, and it is a div class of the chart. So let's say, what is this chart ref dot current? Refresh. Let's see this. You can see that this is the reference dot current, a div with class of chart. So we can work with it. And let's say that on the use effect, we say the chart ref dot current dot style dot background is, for example, red. Let's see if it's working or not. Okay, you can see that it is working, and instead of this red we use some different thing. For example, let's say that you want to use this, and this should be inside of these two curly braces. Let's refresh. But this time, let's say instead of this 13, I want to use the percent. Let's refresh to see if it's working or not. Okay, it is not working, and we need to see what is the problem. And let's refresh. Okay, let's check everything again. We say that this is the chart ref and this is the chart ref, so we selected the chart, and that's good. And inside of this use effect, we say that chart ref dot current dot style dot background equals to conic gradient of this, and for this percentage it would be this. And let's delete. Now it's working. The problem was that semicolon. Let's refresh and see if we have any error. No, we don't have any error. That's good. Now let's refresh and see the final result. When it is initialized, our initial percent is 30. It is 30%. So it will be added. Here you can see that it will be added to our background even in the initial state, which is the mounting. And also we use this percent inside of this array, which is a dependency array. So by changing this state, this use effect will be run, and it will change the chart ref dot current dot style dot background, which equals to this, and we use this backtick to use temporary literals, and here we use this percent dynamically. So this will be assigned to the div with class name of chart, and you can see that by using this it will be changed automatically. And also we have this division with the legends, and this value is automatically changed because this is an state, and with changing the state we know that this entire component will be updated. So this percent will be updated automatically, and it seems that we have done this and our interview task is done. So let's work on the GitHub, and let's close all of these. And here let's see the changes. You can see that I have these files, okay, and these changes, and inside this app.jsx we added them, and this chart is created, and index JS. So this is new, and let's say add React project solution. Let's commit them. First, we need to stage all of them using this plus. Okay, now commit and push using this sync changes. You can use CLI if you want, but it's convenient to use this source control extension. Let's refresh here, and okay, now inside of this repository div empower slash custom pie chart front interview, we have this. You can see that this is a public repository, and you can send the address of this repository to the interviewer, and this is a final step of our project. You can see that I have this folder here, a complete React project, and also Vanilla JS. You can see it is index.html file and assets file, and we have all of our codes on GitHub, and that's good. And this is the final step of our tasks. Now, after finishing our projects and implementing two projects, we have this GitHub repository, and you can see it is a public repository. You can send this address to anyone, and also this is a good repository for your resume, and you can have it. It is good when you are having an interview for the front-end positions. This will help you a lot to have these codes on your GitHub repository. I hope this video helps you. Please like this video, leave some comments for me, and say me if you have any opinions or any comments, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a good interview, and goodbye.